And continuing from the last movie, let's go and look at this. This example says, once again, an exact match. There are different kinds of ways to read an index. You've already seen a unique index scan on a primary key because it's unique, so you can actually pull a single row out of it. And you've also seen a fast full index scan. A fast full index scan simply reads all the items in the index and decides whether something's there or not. There is another type, well, there actually are multiple ways of reading indexes, but this is a very clear one. In this case here, what you're probably going to do if we click Explain Plan is we will see a unique scan on the index. In this case, what we will see is something called a range scan. A unique scan finds one row. A range scan finds more than one row. So if we go back to here and click Explain Plan and we scroll across, we'll find the cost of 1. And if we do this on this one, again we find the cost of 2. I could go into the system table and do a similar example to this one, where I can say select star from cell where cell, say if there is one, 10, and then select star from cell where cell ID is greater than 100. This is a range. This is in theory an exact match, and I executed the query and I didn't want to execute it, and I have to look at the correct schema because I'm in system. I don't want to execute the query. What I want to do is just run the Explain Plan. Here it says I'm reading the primary key, I'm using a unique scan. Out of 600,000 records I get a cost of 3. I look at this one, I run the Explain Plan, I'm going to ask it for a range. In fact, it's aborted the range query and it said just go and full table scan it. Let's try something else. Let's try less than 10 to try and get a range scan out of it, just to show you that the range scan is slower. In theory, there's a range scan on the primary key and it's 4. If you can recall from here, the Explain Plan was 3 as opposed to 4 in the second example. Slightly faster. Obviously, the bigger range you put in, the more likely it's going to decide, well, look, you know, it's greater than 100, might as well read the entire table, which is what happened with that example of 100. We're going to put this back in again. Connect to the system again. And if we do select star from dw.cell where cell ID is greater than 100, and we want to make sure this is in SQL Developer. Run in SQL Developer only, because if you run that in SQL Plus, you pull all this data across the network and you could be there for 100 years waiting for it to finish. I'm not going to give you this DW data, I'm only going to give you the events data. It's just too big, it's too much information. And what I can say here is this will be unique or exact match. This is a range scan, possibly full table scan, because large range of rows selected. Simple as that.